TEDP Training Part 5, Understanding and Changing the System Recommendations. TEDP recommends a follow-up interval for provider evaluation known as the when and suggests the best location for provider follow-up known as the where. The triage urgency of the system concern forms the basis for the triage recommendations. Both the when and the where on the results page can be changed. Changes are referred to as an up triage or down triage when changing the when follow-up recommendations. An up triage occurs when you recommend follow-up sooner than what the system suggests. In other instances, you may want to extend or lengthen the follow-up interval. This is considered a down triage. Please refer to your nursing leadership regarding a down triage. So let's move to the when. The when provides the most appropriate interval for provider follow-up. It's important to note that the follow-up interval is not dependent upon your available appointments. TEDP will recommend the following intervals: now 911, now 2 to 8 hours, 12 to 24 hours, 2 to 3 days, 1 to 2 weeks, and self-care. A question that's often asked is, what do the time frames mean? A now 911 means with early intervention or activating EMS, we can decrease morbidity and mortality for those high-level urgency follow-ups, such as a person who might be having a heart attack, a pulmonary emboli, or a stroke. Now means now. Do not delay, and perhaps we do not have to ask the caller to call an ambulance, but a family member who is available could provide transportation to the facility that you recommend. We then have the 2 to 8 hours, the 12 to 24 hours, and so on and so forth. This means the minimum amount of time to the maximum amount of time the caller should wait to be seen. However, to avoid confusion, I recommend to say within 8 hours or within 24 hours. As you can see in this recommendation, parenthetically, system is included in the 12 to 24 hours for follow-up for this particular system concern. You see other time frames in this drop-down menu. Those were added at the request of your visit leadership. In order to change the interval, you simply select the interval that you would like the caller to follow up with. So in this case, I'm going to up triage the caller to 2 to 8 hours. We then move on to the where. It's important to know that the when and the where are not associated. The when is the time frame and the where is the location that you want to send the caller. TEDP will recommend follow-up locations at a VA facility. As you can see, Emergency Department VA, Urgent Care VA, the Clinic VA, Dentist office, or home. As the triage nurse, you may select the final location for provider follow-up, and this change will be included in the final note. You, as the nurse for triage, know the available resources at your facility to select the best location for follow-up. We then move on to the modifier. The modifier is used when you decide to up triage. It's always recommended to use a modifier to justify your up triage action. This is a list of modifiers or variables that you may want to select, and you can select one to justify why you are bringing the caller in sooner. This list is provided by the VA to us, and we add it to the list. For clarifications on what these mean, I would refer you to your nursing leadership. Please join me for training part 6, which will include adding education to the final note and then training part 7 to finalize our triage encounter.